you for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe. Love Spell Friday, so we're going to get right into it and talk about the dark side of love. Trauma bonds, narcissists, heavy stuff. Because once again, I have to stress, working with the energy. Working with the phases of the moon, how the planets are aligned, and some old-fashioned psychology. What is in your subconscious? What are you radiating? And sometimes you think you're ready, and then you're not. Learning karma, I don't know. Seems like I've had to learn the same lesson over and over and over. Maybe my next life. Because I believe in keeping it real on my channel and being authentic. And I'm sure you've guessed, some of you have been paying attention, it's time for me to get a divorce. And I'm just putting it out there because I haven't just put it out there. And I'm finally taking the hard steps. And I've been taking baby steps because I'm living with once again, I'm not sure how. I thought I'd gone through enough therapy, spent enough time alone before I met my current soon-to-be ex-husband. Now, I want to put this out there because this doesn't help people when you don't seem to understand how hard it is to go, like, why don't you just leave? Yeah, so why don't you just walk outside with no money, no phone, no car, and no place to go? Now, I'm not at that point anymore. I've spent the last few months going through pure hell to get my finances in order. Thank you to the ancestors that have answered my prayers and have helped the brain work, because it's, people don't understand until you go through it how, you're dealing with a maniac who, unless you can, the day you decide to leave, it better be the day you're never coming back, and you're going to be far away because, like I said, I'm human, I have my faults, and this better be the last time I have to go through this lesson. And for my favorite #1 fan, please try be understanding. I need a little time for my own space. I do deserve to have fun. You deserve to have fun, but I don't want to make the mistake from going, I've been in this marriage 8 years. And the last 3, since my dad passed away, boy, the demon has no respect. Now, when my dad was alive, he was afraid of my dad and my cousin. Well, both of I guess he looked at them as my protectors, because now that they're gone, once they were gone and he realized they were gone, and he realized that unfortunately I'd allowed myself to be put into a predicament, which I am out of. Now I am. The other difficult part is, due to my wanderlust nature, I'm 3,000 miles away from my friends, because all the family that really gave a hoot about me is gone. They're up there. They're helping out though, thank you. But they're not on this plane anymore. The family I have left, 1 can't help me, 2 don't give a, and the other, well, his brain is fried. he's 88 and he doesn't have all his marbles anymore. But that's a whole other story, and what comes around goes around, cuz whatever, dude, I did the right thing. Thank you for screwing me over. Thanks, caveman. Anywho, so we're going to get into, like I said, you've got to pay attention to the energies too. And this, though, is the perfect time to the old black candle, dissolving that which does not serve me, taking away fear, shame, and guilt, and replacing it with love, light, and power. Now, I'm working on that self-love inner child. But if you feel that you have reached a point where you're in balance and you are ready for new love to enter, light the new love candle. Me, I am definitely ready for some happiness, some joy, some intellectual conversations, to be free from these chains that bind me to this trauma bond. No more. So I'm going to carve into this candle. No more shame, guilt, pain. It's going to be replaced with love, light, and power. My inner child is going to be happy and joyful and playful and no longer afraid. We're going to have the nice, strong, solid root chakras. And this is going to take more than one session, but maybe not. Maybe you've been doing enough work where this will be the last time and that chain will be broken from your mind and your energy. You're not going to attract that energy anymore. And you're going to be aware of it. See, when I analyze this relationship, I've learned, because I thought I'd learned everything from my first ex-husband umpteen years ago. You know, this guy, though, he wasn't a drinker. He wasn't a drugger. He had a decent job. He had his own, I thought it was his own place. Unfortunately, I didn't learn enough about him. I'd risen my standards because at one point I was like, oh, well, they drink a little. Oh, don't make excuses for adults. Okay, if they drink and you don't want to be with somebody that drinks, don't be with somebody that drinks. But gambling, oh my God. I had no idea. When they say degenerate gamblers are the equivalent of meth addicts, drunks, heroin. It's an ugly addiction because they will lie and steal. They won't pay the rent. They won't buy groceries. They won't even wash the car. They will do nothing. It's just a different type of addiction. And to me, it's even worse than the alcohol and drugs because they're not physically. It's like a form of schizophrenia. And it's easier to hide, I think, because when you don't, I dated my soon-to-be ex-husband for 2 years. And I made excuses, though, when I seen him a couple times. His car was dirty, his hair, he looked like he needed a haircut. And I also hadn't known that it'd only been a year before I met my soon-to-be ex-husband, that he'd been living with his mom for 25 years. And she left him the property he was living at. So before You go moving in with somebody, have a checklist. It's okay. It's okay. You don't want to wind up in a situation where you're with a nightmare, with somebody that gambles your rent money away, who is controlling and jealous and multiple personalities. You do not want to be in the situation, because I'm a strong person and this has been a mofo to get out of. And by my ancestors, at least I was strong enough to always have my own bank account. Always have your own bank account. Always. And when there comes a point, like when you live with somebody and you're married, yes, you should have another account for the bills. Because yes, you should do your best to pay your share, because when you're living alone, you're paying it all. And when you're living together, it's supposed to make things better. Now, when you're living with somebody and stuff happens that's not their fault, then yeah, that's why you're together, to help each other pick up the slack. But not to, in November. Now I'm going on a rant here, so thank you. I'm going to try and cut this. But I'm all about being authentic. I am living the experience. I'm sharing my experiences and how I've gotten out of them, getting out of them, what I've done to make things better. This November, and I had enough money to get a down payment on a car. So I was all excited. And this is another sign you're with a narcissistic demon. I was all excited. Woo, now I can go get a car. What's he do? I can't. He went and gambled all the rent money and said, I can't pay the rent money. That was it. I told him. So he pulled it again. I said, oh well, I guess we're gonna be on the street then, because I'm not paying the rent ever again because you went and gambled it away. Or whatever reason they come up with, don't. And if you wind up being evicted, maybe it's the best thing that happened, because it's forcing you out. So that was it. That wasn't the first time, that was the last time. Never again. I will never again pay the rent money for somebody who, if they lost their job, if it wasn't their fault, that's a totally different scenario. But when he knew I had enough money to get a car, well, it's about power and control. And then, so I went to my uncle's. Long story there. Whole time I was gone, completely unsupportive. Thank God my uncle had enough marbles then still to help me out. But like I said, my wonderful cousin had to butt his nose in it. But that's okay, buddy. What comes around goes around. So 2 months, no support. Gambles all the money away. The rent's all effed off, but I don't care. So he's bitching and moaning the same old crap about, yeah, you don't work and you don't do this. And I go, well, I'll take one of my credit cards and get a car. Oh, flipped out. Flipped out. I'm like, why are you flipping out about me? I don't want to max out my credit card, but if I have to, I will. And I'll get a car because I do. I need a car. Right? Yeah, I mean, no. Why would you want me to do that, you psycho? That was like, I see. I come up with the solution, and instead of going, okay, It's about power and control. It's just about his scared little boy whose stepdad abused his mom, and I was abused up there. But that's okay. We're getting rid of that because I got a phone coming. I'm gonna get my own carrier again on the down low. And that's the thing people don't understand is you have to be on the down low because you never know, because there's been 3 times already he's become increasingly violent, which I got the red, so but still I don't want to deal with that anymore. I don't want to deal with the insanity anymore. I don't want to have to get my kung fu on anymore. I don't want to live like that anymore. And that's okay. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. There's people, I feel so bad for the ladies that, he's a nightmare. And even I'm like, well, my best friend was like, quit doing that. What if he does something like really crazy? I'm like, any crazier than he already has? But she had a point. But when I analyze this relationship, I go way back. We met 12 years ago. So we got married going on 9 years ago. It's been married since 2013 of January. And we knew each other 2 years before I thought we knew each other. So before you get involved, make sure you're, on this plane, you want to make sure nobody's perfect little angels. Some people leave the lights on. Some people leave water bottles laying around. None of us are perfect little angels. But ask yourself, are these just annoying little habits that everybody has that, but you don't want, you want to make sure the person you're going to get all in the web with isn't just another reflection of your trauma. That they're not just another lost boy or girl. Like me, I'm going to go vegan once I'm out of this relationship because I feel healthier. Now, I know most people aren't vegan, but I am going to go vegan. There are going to be things that from now on, you can eat whatever you want to eat, but I'm going to eat what I want to eat. And that might get on some people's nerves. It's just a matter of before you go filling a void, you don't want a void anyway. You want to be strong. You want to have good root chakras because your future relationships, you want them all to be loving and supportive and joyful, not full of old, dead energy that just needs to go, to dissolve, to be replaced and filled with love and self-love. So light the candles. And this is a thing to do like during this time, after the full moon and before the new moon. Because you want your inner child to feel loved. You want to try and keep remembering the good memories and loving yourself. So you're going to have a loving, supportive partner that's going to be understanding and caring. I mean, not that you're not going to have disagreements, but we're not talking about just disagreement. Like I said, when I analyzed this relationship, like I said, the very last straw was when I said, well, I'll take one of my credit cards, max it out, and buy myself a car. Mm-hmm. That was it. Because it's like there comes a point when there's just no, it's done. So it's okay. So thank you. Many blessings.